When you buy a new set of wheels, you hope that at least you're going to get a good 2 to 3 months out of it, but more than likely you're going to get 1. The problem is sometimes when you go out and you see the absurd amount of wheel companies that we have right now, especially on the skate shop websites, there is so many to choose from and you have no idea which one is the pick. Back in the day, Eulogy Wheels was always considered like the top tier, the creme de la creme of, wheel companies. If you had that wheel, it was going to be an unbelievable ride and never going to last you a long time. The problem is, times change. To put it simply, the last 3 times I've skated Eulogy Wheels now, I have had a bad experience. And it's probably my fault for continuing to put them on my skates and hoping for like that glory day feel back. I want to go over my experiences currently with the Eric Schrign wheel in 58mm by 88A. It comes in a green finish. It's a retro wheel based off one of his old graphics. The graphics, as you can see on my wheels, are completely gone anyway, so if you're a graphics person and you're really considering like wanting to buy them for how it looks, you should probably never put them on your skates. Initially I thought, wow, these actually roll pretty good, like these aren't too bad. And then as the end of the session came on, so I want to keep it clear, I think I skated this set of wheels particularly. It touched regular concrete 1 time and it touched skate park concrete 3 or 4 times. I'm not sure in between which one. So essentially I didn't even get to skate these on street on the typical terrain that I used to skate. So my last couple of experiences with Eulogy, I can actually like remember them to the T. One was I had just gotten a fresh pair when I went to San Francisco, and I remember we had taken a ride up to this hill bomb, and it was basically like overlooking San Francisco from afar. You can see Alcatraz, you can see the city in the distance, and it was this windy just hill. Nothing even too crazy. I remember we did the hill bomb and I got to the bottom of the hill and all my wheels were completely to one side, flat spot at the hill, and I didn't even do any set slides. I was just literally rolling down the hill, and that's what happens to it. And I remember at that point I'm like, damn, I just bought these wheels for the trip hoping that it would like last me the entire time, and now I've got to like beg somebody to give me some wheels, but luckily it all worked out. A recent time, I had actually gotten a pair of sample Eulogy wheels, which they're right here actually, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I tried to ride these for the last video in DynoVfr, and I'll never forget, I've taken all my wheels apart, I put these on, and not only that, if you don't have the spacers for this thing, which is like this little floaty ball thing that is an absolute pain in the ass to get lined up when you're putting your bolts in, it sucks. Let's just put it that way. So I didn't have them for this one in particular. So I'll never forget, we went to this like one hill spot that actually Nick did like a bank to wall ride on, and nothing crazy, slight hill, blacktop. It was a normal day, maybe 80 degrees, so it wasn't like super crazy slippery or anything. And I remember I'm rolling down the hill and I go to turn and my wheels just completely slip out. And I guess they had like wanted a formula to like make these for like better for flat, so they would like be more slippy and grippy, but they really just made a normal profile wheel. But I don't know what harness this was or what like slick they put on here, but these things, every time I turned, I slipped out no matter what. And I was just so, I'll never forget, I was so frustrated in that part that I was trying mid trick, and I had taken all my wheels off and put my old wheels back on like mid trying a trick, because that's how mad I was. So I never went back to these again. And then within the last month, I got my hands on a pair of these. And when you're in your head that you're already in your head know that you're right, but you're still going to go ahead and like put yourself through the pain because you like torture. That's basically my decision here. So I wanted to go online and check out the Eulogy site because I wanted to see kind of like who their team was in terms of like people of size, and then also like how much the prices of stuff cost. And as you see, I went onto the Eulogy website and it had absolutely nothing there. So you go to the Eulogy website, you have no clue of anything about the company at all. You just see that they have a website and you can buy wheels at a certain place. And honestly, they've always been like a below par in terms of like advertisement and like showcasing their team and like advertising towards skaters, or like showcasing to maybe other people that would even get skating. So they've always been like really horrible at that. But to see that like in the year 2025, when you should at least have like a bare minimum website up to have like something showcasing, like, this is us, we're here. and you don't even have that, it speaks volumes to how you feel about skating. So I couldn't tell you like the size of the riders, but I know Eric Schrign, which this wheel is for. He's a bigger guy. He was roughly my size, if not an inch or so shorter. So he's a big guy. He should be able to handle these. So if you wanted to ask, I'm 6'2". I weigh between 195 and 205, depending on how I've been eating that week. I have a standard in terms of like how long something should last. So I always look at it, so when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I had to really pick and choose and beg my parents for what kind of product I wanted to get. And when you're a little kid and you have to convince your parents to spend $40 on 4 wheels for your rollerblades that don't even fit for all of them, and to have them wear down in 4 sessions to a T of where they're at right now is just completely unacceptable. Because let's face it, everybody, like, what are the main purpose of the rollerblade wheels? To rollerblade to places, to rollerblade around. And I feel like these wheels are more, unless you're like under 145 to 150 pounds, these wheels are not going to be suitable for actually rollerblading around. Unless you're the kind of person that, you know, just drives to a spot, you know, skates a skate park, puts them on, takes them off, you know, and calls it a day. And if you have no intention of ever bringing these out on the street and maybe saying, you know, skating down the block to your local skate park, or skating to your corner store to get a drink, or doing what all these wheels were intended to do, which is rollerblade in the street, rollerblade on the ground, rollerblade around. And I couldn't confidently say, like, I kind of even wanted to like go skate around the block even now, just to show you like how one go around would do to your wheels. And just imagine like you're a parent struggling, trying to get your kids something, and they're into rollerblading. And they finally find rollerblading, they're really into it. They find something they like, they get these wheels, they're cool neon green, like I can't wait to skate them. And they last them, like, especially if they're skating every day, it lasts them under a week. And then they're going to their mom and be like, hey, can you buy me new wheels because these are done? And what is that mom gonna say? It's like, you gotta find a new hobby because I can't be spending, you know, $40 every 1 to 2 weeks because you need a new set of wheels, and that's only for 4. For me, at least, I can't recommend these for anybody that's over 150 pounds. At least for anti-rocker. I skate anti-rocker. I didn't have 8 wheels to skate flat with these. To be honest with you, I wouldn't skate this profile flat. It's not very good. The fact that these wheels still flat spot after so many years, it is... I'm even trying to think of the last time I even had problems flat spotting wheels. I don't really run into that issue with any other brand except for Eulogy. Maybe it's the way how soft they are, or how it's poured, because it's poured by kind of like a skateboard company. I can't stand bearing spacers. Another thing I noticed, which I was trying to like film on the video, is like I feel like even with the bearings in here, these wheels are like unbalanced, and I don't know if it's because of how the floating bearing like has to float in a certain way. Your wheels have to crank in, and maybe it pushes the wheel and bends at a certain point. But I mean, I am an over cranker, don't get me wrong, but even these I didn't really crank, and it just seems like even when I spin this one, it's just like, it's like a wobble to it in a way. And it's like, you know, my 30-year-old Kryptonic wheels that are in the middle that have been through skates for ages now have not done that. And, you know, it's just disappointing. I think it's just like one of those things where you remember something for the glory days being really good and like really amazing, and then you look at it today and it's just like, it's in a way a shell in itself. And it's kind of sad because these used to be like the cream of the crop wheels. They were the best. Like if you were buying them for $30 and now they're $40 US, it just stinks. Because if I would have actually skated around to places, which obviously I'm a big guy, I probably shouldn't be skating around to places in aggressive skates, but that's what they're intended to do. And if I can't confidently do that with these wheels and like have to worry about like bringing my shoes with me because they might break and I have to walk home, try telling that to a kid that really wants to skate and try your product. You know, why would I recommend them to get those when they stink? You can't. So overall, initial ride on the Eulogy wheels, they felt great. The initial start, they roll pretty good, and then they just initially get worse and worse. And my one wheel, like I had brand new bearings in these, and which might go back into the fact of like how the bearing sits in there. Maybe it may be long. I know Eulogy gets a little upset when you criticize their wheels, but hey, face the facts. They're not very good anymore, my friend. You got to do better. Value, I would say 3 out of 10. You know, not many sessions. I had to rotate them multiple times already. They're flat spotted in a couple places. They're I have a wobbly core a little bit, and honestly I don't really want them on my skates anymore because they were kind of like slipping, tripping over stuff when I was skating a skate park. And I understand Philly skate parks do have their problems, but mostly these ones are smooth. So I would say whenever you see Eulogy wheels or as an option, even if they're at a discount price, I would say avoid them at all costs. The fact that I was like flying down a hill in San Francisco and just looking down and seeing my urethane just like progressively getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and just looking down and just seeing like a complete half wedge shape was just funny and depressing at the same time. I understand rollerblade wheels are never going to be perfect. There's always going to be their flaws and they're always going to break, but I just expect a little bit better from our industry after so long. I'm a little tired of we've only been doing it for 30 years now. I mean, that's a long time. If you tried these wheels, comment below. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Let me know how your experience was. Let me know maybe if a different Eulogy is better, but I probably will not be trying this wheel or this brand anymore. If you have a bullet wheel or a 59mm wheel that you should point my way towards, let me know in the comments below. But I think 48% of you are still not subscribed that have been watching this, so if you are liking these videos, please hit like, hit subscribe below. It helps me out. Till next time.